Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh. Yo. Yeah, sorry, I'm just checking something.
I'm gonna hit the intro, okay? Are you good if I do that or no? Okay.
Face to face and bar to bar, I learned to chase the pain and arm the scars. And my tailfire, that's a Charizard. Then we aim higher than the Taj Mahal.
Hello. Welcome to the Dragon Ball Fan Podcast. My name is Kaiser, and I am joined by my co-host today and always, Sky. How you doing, my guy?
Doing pretty good. As you can see, I got a new setup here. You know, looking good. I'm joking. This is not a permanent setup. It's just temporary, but it's great, right? It's nice.
It is nice.
Yeah, doing great. I think this is gonna be a really exciting topic and just episode in general, especially with the news that we got yesterday for Daima and Sparking Zero, but mostly Daima. That's the topic, and it's the more exciting thing, for sure. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk about Daima today. It's gonna be really fun.
Agreed. Me as well. Yeah, it was just like you said, perfect timing. I think we're just kind of here to get hyped together. We got a month until we start getting weekly Dragon Ball anime. Like that is an awesome thing to look forward to, guys. And we get it the same day as potentially the best Dragon Ball video game to hit box shelves since the last Budokai Tenkaichi. Probably.
Yeah, or Fighter Z or whatever, yeah.
Are y'all buying Sparking Zero on release or waiting for it? Well, this is a great opportunity to let you guys know. There will be more information about this coming, but we intend to have a marathon stream, and this is going to work out really, really well. I think this is probably something me and Sky will obviously have to talk more about it. Likely will run for quite a few hours. Nothing too crazy long. It'd be our first one, so we want to make it attainable, but probably something around the 5-6 hour kind of thing. And you know, the idea is to have a space, have people come in and out, and for us to be doing all sorts of different content to show, you know, what kind of stuff we'd like to be making, while also like having conversations with other members of the Dragon Ball community. content creating community. And so we're gonna have a Dragon Ball Sparking Zero tournament where whoever comes in to do this, we're gonna do a draft. Kind of like snake style, like
Yeah.
okay, now you pick it, and then of course, with it being Budokai Tenkaichi, you got to have your team, right? So that's going to be a lot of fun to do the draft, and then we're gonna likely be doing a conversation, a DBFP around Daima, or maybe that ends up being something that Sky takes over, and that's TML for the stream, is actually a conversation around that the Daima episode, and then we'll have a review, I think, for Sparking Zero during that as well. There's a lot we want to do. More on that soon. Ways to support it, who we'll interview, and all that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you actually mentioned that, because that was the plan, most likely. I know it's called the Manga Lookout, but we might, have something kind of like, we have the Dragon Ball Fan Podcast, but we also have DBGS. Obviously that name's gonna eventually change, but it's some sort of like gaming thing that we do on the Monday time slot. It'll be something similar to that on Thursday. Just view Thursday, yes, it's the Manga Lookout, but it's more like a media lookout of some sort, right? We could talk about anime, we could talk about manga in general, and it'll expand a lot more of our content too, because it's not just stuck in that manga route. We can obviously talk about Daima, and I think that's the perfect time slot to talk about it. So obviously we're gonna have to see when it airs. Like if it's airing on the Sunday, maybe we can give like little tidbits on our thoughts on it on the Discord, and then obviously go a bit more in depth on Thursday, and then we'll probably during the episode 2 release, maybe we'll post our review of it on YouTube during that day of the previous episode. That'd be pretty cool too.
Agreed. Of course, that would be October 11th. We're gonna see, it might end up being the 12th that we do it, just because that's a Saturday. More info to come. We have a lot to look into. Now, to hit up the chat a little bit, Alexa first in the chat. Yo to you. It's a beanie in there. The real producer today. We got Noun. Are y'all buying Sparking Zero on release or waiting for a sale? So yeah, we touched on this, didn't really answer it. Yeah, we'll have it on release for sure. We're gonna need it in order to run a lot of this content, so it will have to be. We'll see if we can expense it, but basically we'll have it. We're excited to do that. It won't end there. We'll be doing more Sparking Zero content, live streams, maybe more virtual tournaments with people in the community, so definitely join our Discord. You'll find links to that stuff in the description, and also sometimes throughout in the comments section. So guys, we got an exciting topic for us today. Really just all of us sitting in here geeking out, talking about Daima. That date is October 11th. We're getting that along again with Sparking Zero. And, Sky, I was looking into this a little bit, and one thing I wanted to bring up off the bat, I thought you'd find interesting if you didn't already. I'm sure you did. You know all this stuff before I do. Is the director of the film, or the series, is someone who's been heavily involved in One Piece. So that's been really cool to see. I mean, as a storyboard artist, he worked like 55 episodes on One Piece the series, but he's also worked on like 3 different One Piece films. So I thought that was really interesting. One of them getting a 9 out of 10 on IMDb. So I thought that was a little promising. But yeah, any thoughts on that and maybe what that could bring to Daima?
I feel like the fact that, obviously these are 2 giant IPs, right? Probably the 2 biggest IPs in the West for anime. Obviously in Japan you would probably say it's the top 2 of 3 or 4, because you would have to add Gundam and maybe Sailor Moon to that equation. But I think that's really important that we get like big names for Daima, because like for example, when Daima first got released, they put out to the public that episode 5, they say like, if by episode 5 you will be hooked. So that doesn't mean by episode 1 you won't, like, you could be hooked by episode 1, but they said by episode 5 we guarantee you'll be hooked. That is a crazy thing to publicize to the media, because it shows the confidence. And I know Geekdom. Shout out to Geekdom. Obviously, great Dragon Ball content creator. He gets all this info out really quickly. So shout outs to him. But he mentioned months and months ago, before any other creator even mentioned it, that there will be a fight where there is blood included, and that's really interesting because in One Piece there is blood, and it's it's very minimal, but it's cool that this director is kind of playing both sides here, because he's played in he's in One Piece where there's not much blood, but now he's in something that has it again. So I find that very interesting. The films that he worked on, I believe, was it Strong World? I think it was. I remember checking up. I think it's Strong World.
I can tell you that right now. So he worked on the most latest was Red.
Yeah.
Then he worked on, it says 3D2Y.
Oh, 3D2Y, that's a good one.
Okay. And then the other one was Bond of Three Brothers.
Oh, I thought he did Strong World. Okay, so he did Bond of Three Brothers. I never watched that one. That's one of the only ones I've never watched.
Okay.
3D2Y and Red. And which was the 9 out of 10? 9 out of 10. Was it 3D2Y?
You know what's funny? Actually, when I was looking at it, it was fairly quickly. And it's actually, the snippet was of the experience he had. The 9 was the experience he had on One Piece, the show.
Oh.
So that's what that was. I mean, these other guys aren't too bad, and honestly, ratings are tough anyways.
Yeah.
One thing that really excites me, Sky, about this is that, from everything I know and hear about with One Piece, it's all about the adventure. And
all of it, yeah.
With Daima, that's what we're in for, right? I mean, I have the general plot here. It's very vague, and it's what we know from just seeing the trailer. But due to a conspiracy, Goku and friends are transformed into children. They intend to travel to a mysterious new world to undo this change. This is an adventure story, right? We're going back to hopefully a little bit of that feeling and experience and character that we always used to get from watching Dragon Ball, and even at times during Dragon Ball Z. I think
at least
Dragon
up
Ball
until
Super
the Namek
was great,
saga,
but I think we're ready for, at least up until Namek Saga. That's correct. I think to get back into that adventure, that journey is going to be great, and to have someone leading the charge that who has basically only intimately worked with a show that is known for its ability to do that at a great capacity is like really promising. I was really happy to see that.
No, for sure. And as someone who didn't really like the latest One Piece movie personally,
is that Red?
Yeah, film Red.
Okay.
Someone who didn't really like the movie, the reason why I didn't like it was because of how it was advertised as something that it shouldn't have been, personally. Then when you kind of got it just didn't feel like a One Piece movie. It felt like a Hairspray movie, and it's just like, okay.
Oh boy.
And it wasn't kind of that vibe, but in terms of like animation and how quickly a scene got to another, and the direction, I get why a lot of people do love it. What the thing is with film Red is a lot of people love it, and there's a lot of people who do hate it. It's one of those ones. But so I'm not gonna view that as something that he has in his catalog and be like, okay, this is something to be worried about, because film Red got the numbers, got everything, and it did well for itself. It's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. I think that's the perfect way to talk about this, is the fact that he's worked on an adventure-based story, One Piece, arguably the biggest, I mean, it is the biggest adventure-based story in anime, and now he's working with the big, like, the grandfather of anime, right? Dragon Ball, that IP. So I think this is gonna be a really big thing for us. And I love the cover, by the way, for Daima, where you see Goku riding on like that big, like, what is it, like pterodactyl or something? That looks really cool. That's I'm super excited. I really am. And I don't know if I showed you. I think I did. There's like a Fusion World card that's gonna come out. It's a promotional card, and it's Goku on that dragon, and it looks beautiful. It looks so good. It looks so good. It's probably one of my favorite art so far in Fusion World. It's really nice. Let's see.
Yeah, on Fusion World, we actually started playing a little bit.
Yeah, we
recently.
did.
Sky's been a goat, just giving me like, all my cards have been given to me by Sky, by the way, basically. And every time I see him, he goes, by the way, I got a few more, cook with them. I'm like, oh shit. And so we played yesterday. That was a lot of fun. I get the game. It's clicked. I need to get onto the digital version of that because, as Sky pointed out recently, we have apparently, Sky, maybe let us know a little bit more about that. You have access to a bunch of packs. I think 50 packs that you can
Yeah,
open
but
right
I don't
now.
know how long it's going to be up for. It could be expired
Okay.
now, but
Okay.
but
If
I know
you were
that
not
if you
seeing
first
this
start,
on September 2nd, then you might be fucked. Is basically what we're trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah. But the good news is though they do give you like free gems where you can just get a starter deck or two
Okay.
and then work with that slowly and start building packs. But yeah, we plan on doing a league for Fusion World, but we'll talk more about that in the upcoming weeks and on Discord. So make sure you check that out. But yeah, like segueing back to Daima, Gerald here says, not gonna lie, first trailer for Daima I wasn't really on board, but after seeing that short Goku fight with the power pole, I got hyped. Yeah, that's
Yes.
really really exciting.
Yep.
And then down here says Strong World looked great. Shiki's a go. Hopefully one of the new dudes in Diamond can reach his level. Yeah, so Shiki's a pretty cool character in the Strong World One Piece movie. In Daima, now me and you both know that probably Kid Goku would destroy Shiki just because of how Dragon Ball scaling is. But yeah, in terms of reaching the level of aura and how cool someone like Shiki was, I think we will find some characters like that. We do know that we now know that in Daima we're going back to like the demon realm of some sort and like demon kings and Babadi's involved in some sort of way. There's a new version of Majin Buu or something. That's pretty exciting too. I just hope they don't do I hope they don't give us like a Cell Max to Cell kind of deal and they just give us a weird version of Buu. Like give them a story, give us a reason why we have Boo back. Don't just be like, oh, we have some sort of Boo. They do this every time. They bring Frieza back. They brought Cell back. They can bring Boo back. Like I hate that personally. Give it a good story behind it, why it's happening, and
But
I'm
it's
on
not
board.
literally Boo.
No, but it's a different version of him. But it's like, okay, like why get lazy with that? Like just do something else.
It says, hold on.
There's gonna be a new version
never mind.
of Majin Buu. Of some
Focus
sort.
on Boo arc in Dragon Ball Daima. Focusing on Majin Buu and yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Like they haven't really allowed a lot to get out about it.
Yeah, they haven't. But they've been pretty bad at advertising it for a while. Only until recently they've picked it up. Finally, but yeah, I'm really excited for it, and the content coming out of Daima is gonna be great on this channel too.
100%. One thing I want to ask you about, Sky, is when it comes to this show, you know, you've aligned your expectations, but have you thought of any ways that you think Daima might move the main storyline forward?
So without trying to spoil anything, because you are watching now Bleach, by the way, we have filmed the first episode, I believe. No, just the first episode so far. More very soon actually. But there is something that happens in there that I kind of feel like could happen in Daima, where if they are going to the demon realm, I'm thinking maybe there is some sort of way they have to get in, right? And then that gate or a gateway of some sort closes. And maybe by the end of this arc, for some reason, the gate opens back up. So like it's not actually, it doesn't fully close of some sort, kind of foreshadowing that at some point in time the demon realm will come back into the story. Now, what's really interesting is that, again, this is all speculation. This is all like, I'm just saying some crazy shit, okay? Like fucking put like 5 sirens up. But what would be cool, in my opinion, is that the gateway to the demon realm doesn't open, or it slowly opens up throughout the years. Because let's say Daima is before Super happens, or just during the start of Super, but in between a few arcs, right? Because we know it's not during the Broly and stuff like that. So years have passed by, maybe 5, maybe 7, right? What would be cool is if that gateway starts opening up back when the Black Frieza arc starts, and Black Frieza actually recruits people from the demon realm that we see in Daima. Some of the late villains that we see that didn't end up dying, or new recruits that are really, really strong.
Yep.
And that would be pretty cool too. Maybe the gateway opens back up in the demon realm. Frieza obviously takes notice of this. He's the strongest right now in the universe. He could probably sense it from a mile away, while Goku, Vegeta, and others probably can't. And maybe he can get there as quickly as possible, and maybe start recruiting these guys. That would be maybe a cool thing, because now you're segueing from Daima, and then let's say, how about if the end of Daima, Toyotaro's like, maybe they're planning this, maybe after Daima's done, which will be done, I believe, in January, because it's going to be 20 episodes, so it'll be about mid-February, mid to late February. It would be cool if at the end of that we get a sneak peek of like Toyotaro, a video of Toyotaro with his obviously his thing or whatever, and saying chapter coming out in March or May, like first chapter back, and we go right into the Black Frieza arc, and it's somehow gonna be attached to some of the stuff we see in Daima. That would be pretty cool to me, because at least it gives, because right now people need a reason why they want to watch Daima, right?
Yeah.
Give people a reason. Now, I know that the easy thing is it's just an anime that we haven't had in so long. Sure, that's fine. But a lot of people have been waiting for the anime of Dragon Ball Super for a long fucking time. Like, we want the Moro arc animated. Like, we've wanted it since like 2019, 2020, right? Like, let's get this out there. But how much cooler would it be if there was a purpose? Like imagine it gets released on episode 1 by like the studio or whatever, saying like after Daima there will be a surprise about the Super manga or the future of Super. People would be like, okay, maybe we need to watch this now, and we'll understand a lot more going forward. That would be a really cool incentive for getting more people to watch it, because a lot of people right now are very, very 50-50 on Daima. There's a lot, especially in the West, because actually in Japan, there are a lot of people who are really excited about it. I don't know if you know this, but I've mentioned it a couple times on the Dragon Ball Fan Podcast, but in Japan, Kid Goku is beloved by the Japanese people and the culture there, because Dragon Ball was just so big. Like, growing up, to them it was Astro Boy, Gundam, and then Dragon Ball, right? It was those three growing up, and then obviously Sailor Moon and stuff later. But Dragon Ball was like the biggest fighting manga, like for the longest, for decades. Right. And they loved Kid Goku so much. And in the West here, we tend to, and now not me personally, and a lot of others too, but the vast majority love teen or older Goku. So when we see this, we're like, is this another GT? Is this another this and that? But that's why I feel like Daima needs to have some sort of incentive if it really wants to do insanely good in the West. I think it's going to do well globally. I really do. And we know how amazing Latin America is in terms of the support of the Dragon Ball IP. We know how amazing it is in the Asia countries as well. Mm-hmm. It's more the West is the issue, funny enough. It is the West. So if there is some sort of incentive for us people being spoiled, first world problems. Oh, we need some more shit. Some sort of incentive, then I think this is really gonna do well, and it would be a really cool way to segue into Super. Really good way.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Noun has some thoughts on it as well. He says, would y'all like it if after Frieza gets beat, there's a canon Janemba arc with Frieza's evil being too? Frieza's evil being too powerful for the machine to process. Maybe they could set up some health stuff in Daima for it. I'm like, I think we've said, like, for sure, Frieza, anything even like related to Frieza, I will not be interested in from a story perspective after Frieza's gone. Like, I don't
after care. Black Frieza, I don't want more Frieza after Black Frieza.
No more Frieza. Frieza's done. He's out. With that said, Janemba is a very interesting character, and I wouldn't be opposed to them visiting aspects of Janemba and bringing that into a future character, right? That's something that we've seen done, bringing in things that aren't canon into the realm, whether it's just through winks or literally bringing them through. And I think, Janemba is such a cool character that it's a shame. And that movie is just a shame that it's not actually canon, because I know
cool
it was some really cool moments. I really do want to do that movie reaction, or not reaction, but movie ranking with you, Sky. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun to go back and watch a lot of those Dragon Ball Z movies. Yeah,
that's actually one of the few suggestions that we've gotten back in like last year when we first started the channel. Yeah, in the Discord, it was a movies thing. Actually, we should probably do that really soon. That's something we should definitely do really soon.
We'll have to start watching them.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be really fun. And he says maybe they could set up some hell stuff in Daima for it. Yeah, I think some hell stuff would be really cool in Daima, to be honest. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, my issue is though, Frieza gets boring after Black Frieza for me, and the reason why I say that is because I thought I was gonna feel that way after Golden Frieza, and then Black Frieza showed up, and the way he showed up in the last chapter of the Granola arc, for some reason, got me really fucking hyped. It didn't get me pissed off that Frieza was back and he's this much stronger. I don't know what it was. He's kind
of part of the gang until he's out.
Yeah, and I feel like once he's finally gone, like fully gone, this time Goku will not be the idiot that he is. And be like, let's bring him back for the like if there's another tournament of power, which a lot of people speculate there will be. I don't think that's gonna happen again. But if there is another tournament of power, like a tournament of power version 2, Frieza will not be a part of it, and there will be no need for Frieza by that point because, I mean, don't get me wrong, he would still be one of the strongest, or at least top 2, top 3. But we would have such a consistently strong team now. I mean, especially when we have Gamma and stuff too, the androids and Orange Piccolo, all that stuff. So
yeah, it's interesting. You're talking about tournaments, and what we were saying earlier before is in regards. Yeah, I think like there's a lesson that they've had with the Tournament of Power. There was a lot of love for it. People look back at that as probably the clear greatest moments. Within Dragon Ball Super, Unreal, the Tournament of Power. There's definitely a hunger for tournament style stuff. So even if we don't get a Tournament of Power, I'm really excited for what I think will be at least the implementation of more tournament style stuff, like martial arts tournaments. Let's get some of these kids back in there. Pan starts going, get Piccolo, get some of the people in there. They don't go do their crazy transformations. Yeah. They stay at base. That would be a lot of fun. And let's get
what would be really cool?
What's that?
Have you ever watched the newer version of Beyblade? Now, I don't mean newer in like 2024, but I mean like 20.
Here we go,
11.
Beyblade!
I mean like 2011, 2012, like Beyblade Metal Masters or whatever.
I never watched the Metal Fusion. Okay. I watched one episode and there was a guy that kept walking around going, crab, 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 crab. And I was like, what the fuck
I actually like the metal one way more than the original, to be honest. Bro, you watched one episode. You can't judge. I watched both of the series fully.
I don't know. That crab guy was whack. I'm just saying, doesn't get cooler than Black Bronzer.
So what they did with it was like they did Metal Fusion, then they did Metal Masters, and then they did Metal Fury, right? So Metal Fusion is what your generic stuff, but Metal Masters, Kaiser, Metal Masters was the start of something really special in the Beyblade series, and I really like it because they did a tournament arc. The whole season's a tournament, and the tournament is based off of country, right? So Team America, Team Canada, Team Japan, which is the main characters because it's an anime, right? And you had a team of 3. Now, I'm not saying a team of 3 has to be like that in Dragon Ball, but it could be a team of 5, and it doesn't have to be Goku or Vegeta involved at all, right? Which would be really cool. But imagine a tournament where there's like 3 to 5 fighters, right? Maybe it's Gohan, Piccolo, and Pan, and I don't know, whatever, right? That would be a really cool style where it's by universe, and they do some sort of tournament thing. They could do something like that where there's no like big stake. Well, the stake could be like the reward or whatever, but something like that where you go universe by universe, not everyone combined to each other. And the reason why I think that would be cool is because we would get these individual matchups, because I feel like that's something the Tournament of Power really lacked on, is that there was only 3 universes that really had a lot of screen time and really had big moments. Whereas now you can finally get these fighters showing what they got, and especially with this time skip jump. So maybe if there is a tournament, something in that way, where it's like a universe versus universe, kind of like Universe 6 versus 7, and then we got the Universe 7 versus Universe 9, where they verse the wolves, right? Like stuff like that. That was cool. I like that aspect. Like that to me, that was really
cool. Yeah. Sky, when you look at everything we've seen so far with Dragon Ball Daima, what do you think is going to surprise people the most based on everything that you're hearing, that you're seeing?
I think that's an easy one for me. I think the fact that there's going to be actual blood in these fights. I mean, it's been how many years since the last time we saw that, right?
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Super had no blood, and it honestly pissed me off that we didn't have any of that, because Dragon Ball was known for how brutal it could really, really be, right? Especially in Z. So I think that's going to be like a big one for everyone, because everyone's turned into kids, but there's blood, whereas Super, they are all adults, and there's no blood. So it's interesting. That I think that's going to be the thing, and obviously people know now that there will be blood, or at least the people who have done enough research. But seeing it actually happen in the way, in the context that I think is going to be really, really shocking for a lot. So
yeah, I think so. And I think, you know, obviously, like, one thing you mentioned earlier on in the show is that they haven't done a whole lot of advertising for it. And so I think they're going to let people speak for it. You know, they understand there's such a big community online now on YouTube and even on audio platforms that are talking about the shows and everything. And you know, I think they're going to be happy to have people just talk about the fact that this feels like a Dragon Ball fight, Dragon Ball Z fight, I'm sure, in certain moments as well. And so that's going to be really, really cool. And then, you know, because then it's going to be more so through almost like an influencer marketing. Like, yo, you got to check it out. Like, it feels like we're watching old school Dragon Ball.
Yeah, for sure.
What I mean?
Exactly.
So that's going to be interesting.
So actually, I want to talk to you about something real quick too, because you've seen, I don't know if you remember or if you've seen it yet, but there's actually a cover. I don't know if you've seen the cover yet with him when he's riding the dragon. I think you have, right? Where he's
I believe
riding,
so. Yes.
Riding the dragon.
Yeah.
What's really interesting though is it seems like maybe just in the first few episodes, and that's why, but it looks like the main characters will actually be Goku and Supreme Kai.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to point this out is because Dragon Ball Fusion World card game, and you know, even though it's definitely it's actually on the uprise now. It had a slow start during its release, but with Sparking Zero now cross promoting it and Daima cross promoting it, what's interesting is Fusion World has released a Goku and Vegeta starter deck, or it's releasing a Goku and Vegeta starter deck, not a Goku and Supreme Kai starter deck. We don't have a Supreme Kai leader yet. That would have been a great opportunity to get one out there. So what's interesting is we see Supreme Kai on the cover with Goku, but we do not see Vegeta. Now, my theory here, Kaiser, is that who was the character to introduce us to Majin Buu and what his actions were? It was Supreme Kai. Who would know more about the demon realm than the Supreme Kai himself? So I feel like in some sort of way he's gonna figure out what's going on. There is a character too with like a mask. He kind of looks like, funny enough, a little bit like Dr. Doom. He's got like that green, like a kid version of it. And then we see a person with like white hair, blue toned, looks really cool. He's riding like a patrol, like kind of like something like Jacko would use, but a bit different from some sort of different planet. Looks really cool too. And yeah, I was just gonna say, how do you liking the cover? Because the cover to me, for some reason, is giving off like a manga like cover, like a volume cover vibe. And I'm almost curious, and I would be really excited if they actually adapted this into its own separate manga so that you can collect it. Because I would definitely collect the Dragon Ball Daima, like if it's like a three manga thing, or like one big one, that would be so sick. I don't know. It gives me.
I
think so. It gives me very much like a manga cover. I don't know if you've really seen the cover there, but it definitely gives that vibe for me.
For video watchers, I have it up on screen right now. Yeah, I mean, it screams out everything that we're dying for. It's that adventure, that journey. The things that you're saying right now make so much sense with the Kai being there, having an understanding as to how that demon realm works, probably how they're gonna, you know, the whole process for getting back and doing the thing that they're trying to do, right? So that's probably a lot of that's gonna come to the Kai. I think they're probably looking for more and more ways to make the Kai feel like someone who's got knowledge and experience. I feel like he kind of gets the butt end of the stick a lot, and he can be an annoying character sometimes. I've always thought he had such a very cool character design.
I like him. He was so cool in Z. I think it was just in Super that people had an issue with him, to be honest.
Even in Z, he had moments where he was kind of just annoying, and he never had a moment where he felt like he was actually like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt like we didn't take him seriously because the main characters didn't take him seriously enough. The way they were treating him during the Boo saga was like,
well, I think the person
out of
who
my
took him,
face.
well, the first person to take him really seriously was actually Piccolo, because he sensed him and he was like, "Yo, this guy's really strong." So
did he actually say that?
Yeah. He said he was really, really strong, and he was actually like sweating in the tournament. So yeah, Piccolo was, and people can talk so much shit about Piccolo, but I'm gonna be the first Piccolo defender here. Piccolo, even in the beginning of the Boo saga, was still no fucking slouch. He was no slouch, right? So him even sweating, and he was, and especially in Z, because we know Vegeta probably is the smartest in Super, but overall Piccolo is the smartest. And if he's sweating, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm sweating too, right? Because I'm gonna be scared too. If Piccolo's scared, I'm scared. So I don't know.
That's valid.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Actually, Kaiser, I have a few things. I don't know if you have this written down, but there are a few things from Daima I do know.
Okay,
from the Twitter
so
page.
Please preach.
All right, so a few things to be excited about. All the episodes have already been completed. Now, this might not seem like a big deal, but back in Super's days, they were going by a week-to-week basis. Now, what I mean by that is, when episode 2 came out, episode 3 wasn't fully completed. So that is a big
Are you
deal.
serious?
Yeah, it wasn't even fully
Off the
completed.
bat, they were that behind?
Yeah, because when they announced Super, Super came out 5 weeks after their announcement, after their first trailer. Yeah. So that's a really big thing. Another big thing.
You know what that looks like, Sky?
Yeah.
That looks like the Golden Frieza arc in Dragon Ball Super. That's what it looks like.
Or it looks like the Super Saiyan 3 on King Kai's planet.
Exactly.
Dude. One thing that is 100% confirmed is someone asked someone who has insider knowledge and has a background of confirmed things too that he does know from the past. So he is a good source basically. And he says the upcoming. So someone asked him, when will the English version come out, English dub? And he said, and if you guys remember Super, it took about 2 years to get the dub out. He said, rest assured, he doesn't know the exact time, but it will not be 1 to 2 years for Daima. So for people who are only English, you don't have to wait 1 to 2 years. Like, that's a guarantee, which is cool. Another thing, episode 1 of Dragon Ball Daima will be extended by 10 minutes. So there'll be 10-minute longer episode for episode 1, which is really, really cool. And then I believe there's one more thing that came out. There's a few things actually. Yeah, so episode 1 will be 40 minutes long. 10 minutes longer than normal anime episodes. And then one of the bigger things has nothing to do with Daima, actually. So this could be something. I don't want to get people too excited yet, but Jump Festa 2025, which is something that it's stage panels. So a lot of big creators and their mangakas, or the people that work with the mangakas, they go on panel and they talk about the future of their IPs. Dragon Ball is confirmed to have a panel. And that panel is on December 21st to 22nd. And the reason why that date is very important is because that is after Daima is already being released. So it's not about Daima. We know it's not about Daima. So this is really interesting. And what's also very interesting is the last time Jump Festa was shown and Goku was on the cover, he was more of a background character. He's now back in a little bit of the front. So it kind of maybe entails that there might be a lot more info than we think. And the reason why I also say that is because there are characters that are in the back side of the Jump Festa. Now I could just be reaching here, but there's the main character, for example, he's from Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer manga, already finished. So what are they going to talk about that, right? They're just going to talk about maybe some new merch coming out, maybe new video games, blah, blah, blah. So Goku being in the front is very, very cool. And there's yeah, we don't know. December 21st, 22nd, we could get, again, I don't want to hype people up too much. Maybe we'll get some more Sparking Zero stuff. Maybe Fusion World stuff. Maybe talk a little bit about how everyone's liking Daima, because that'll probably be the halfway point by that time. And then maybe we'll get some anime talk, manga talk. I don't know. Is Toyotaro gonna be there? Maybe not Toyotaro, because he doesn't like to show his face, but maybe Akio Yoku. If it's Akio Yoku, that's something to be really excited about, because he works on the anime. So I don't know. That's just something to really be aware of, at the very least, because yeah, that's something I just wanted to mention. And yeah, shout out to you.
Yeah, I just have that up on screen now as well,
Okay.
Sky. I just put up the poster, I think. Let me know if that's the right one. I'm going to expand it. But I also see Yugi on here as well. So I see, is that the one where you said your Goku's on the cover?
No.
This is 2022. This is 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why this one's coming up.
Yeah, I can send it to you on Discord if you want.
So what was recent with Yugi? Or is he just on there as a anime representative, basically?
I sent it on Discord PMs. Obviously not on Skylances, but on Snap. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't open up Discord stuff.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, it's Jump Festa 25. But Yugi, no clue. No clue.
Oh, here we go. Jump Festa. I see it now. Okay, so I'm going to put that up online so that you guys can see that. Now, Sky, quick question, because I'm curious from a Yu-Gi-Oh perspective. What's Yu-Gi-Oh doing right now? For anyone that's even curious to know, like, what is the state of Yu-Gi-Oh the anime?
It's probably just merch, right?
Just merch at the moment.
It probably just has to be merch because original Yu-Gi-Oh is not a thing. Right? So it's just the new stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I could be really reaching here for sure, but it would be timed really well, right? I mean, Toyotaro just said he's going to continue with the manga just 2 weeks ago. This is a great time, right? This is 3 months later after he says that, and they could be like, manga's coming back, right? And he could say manga's not coming back in December, but maybe it's coming back in January, February, March, right? Get people excited for it. Maybe it's still in a couple months, but at least now we have a date. We have something to look forward to. We can make content already on what we can expect, some predictions, stuff like that. So I don't know. It's definitely something that we should keep an eye out on. It's just before Christmas. That would be a great gift to Dragon Ball fans, right? If we get announced even a new movie, a new canon movie would be really cool. Imagine they announce, Kaiser, the manga return and a new movie coming out. Like that would be wow, that'd be crazy. And we know that Super's movies are all canon, so it would be part of the story of some sort, right? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's just something to look forward to, though. So
that is something to look forward to. It is always possible. Let's not forget that. Depending on where they are at in the Daima storyline, that they use that also as a short little plug to show what's coming up, what to look forward to down the line from where they're at, right? So that could always be the case. Also, that could be potentially Sparking Zero DLC announcement territory as well. So I'd probably look for them. They have so many IPs on the go right now between their mobile games. Now they have console gaming on the run. Kakarot's still something that people play. They still supporting the Xenoverse servers.
What's crazy?
Fighter Z, from a gaming perspective, from now an animated. Are they going to, like you were saying earlier, alluded to earlier, are they going to put this out as a manga as well for Daima, right? So they are very, very busy folks right now. So I think they're going to use any opportunity they can to get in front and talk to people and say, not only, hey, we're back, but this is all the shit that we have going on right now.
Exactly. Yeah, and we actually have a few chatters and some newer ones as well. So we have Joe here that says that means peak animation. I believe he said that after I said the episodes are fully done in its production. And then we have Joshua Samuels. Welcome into the podcast and chat, by the way. We really appreciate you.
How you doing?
Stopping by. He says, how is this going to be good without the guy that made it? So I'm assuming you're talking not about Daima, because we know that Toriyama was actually did most of he did the writing for Daima, and he was really involved on that. So I'm assuming you're talking about maybe if the manga returns, right? I think the thing that we should really think about though is, did you like the Moro arc? Because the Moro arc was the first really big arc that Toyotaro really did most of the arc on, and
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's the best arc in Super. And again, Toyotaro will never exceed Toriyama. We all know this, but there is something to be said about, Toyotaro viewing Dragon Ball in this modern way and how he can shape it up to still be something really special. And I think he has that thought because, I mean, Toriyama picked him, right? I think that's something that we really gotta think about, that Toriyama picked Toyotaro. This isn't just Toriyama just said, okay, let's just get someone who knows how to draw. He picked Toyotaro because he believed Toyotaro was the man for the job. And so I'm sure before he passed, like any manga who has passed away before in the past, I don't know why I worded it that way, but has definitely left something for their successor. And I'm sure someone of Toriyama's, stature probably did the same thing for Toyotaro, especially with his confidence on saying he was going to continue it. So I think we should back him. Now, don't get me wrong, if there's stuff that we don't like and there's stuff that we do like, we will talk about it, of course, right? No one's perfect. But I do think it's something that we should at least back him on for right now and see like how he does, because he has done some great stuff. I really liked the Moro arc, and I thought especially the beginnings parts of Granola, I thought was a great segue to that arc and the Cigarians and stuff. So I don't know, I really like it. And then we see here, Daima's gonna be such a banger anime. I really do think so. I think the animations already looked phenomenal. We really, Kaiser and I have talked so much already, even off screen, about like the Power Pole coming back, and just Kid Goku. We love Kid Goku. I mean, we're literally reacting to Dragon Ball again after so many years. And then At says again, Dokkan is crazy. I play it almost every day. Yeah, you might actually get some Dokkan info too, maybe on Jump Fest, because sometimes they'll talk about games as well. Gerald says Toyotaro got this easy. And then At once again says, honestly, I agree. We have to trust Toyo since Toriyama handpicked him. Yeah, I think we should just back him. And again, like we said, just because we're backing him does not mean we can't criticize him. Right? I mean, we've criticized Toriyama before.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. I mean, look, we were reading even Kakume, right? And they're like, we want that to be incredible. We want to say that these fan made projects are fuck. Look what they could do. Right. But there are also times when like the translations are terrible and we just can't stop laughing the entire thing and kind of chirping it just a little bit. But at the end of the day, criticism's just criticism based on that one-off experience. That we're gonna always try our best not to allow it be this like accumulative thing of compounding negative. Like, look, we know Toriyama is a legend, and one thing that you said earlier that was interesting, it struck me with a thought. That was a weird way to put it, but I was struck with a thought. You said, of course he'll never do anything as good or as big, or I forgot what the term you used, but with like to the that essence of of course he will never do anything to the level of Toriyama almost. Who knows? Okay, look, listen, I'm not trying to discount. Look, at the end of the day, the impact that he's had with Dragon Ball can't be underscored enough. But as far as, hey, look, he created some incredible moments, right? But look, the student can always become the teacher again. Yeah. And we got to see, how is he going to take this once he's at the mantle? You know what, guys? I'll retract what I mostly meant by that, though. I mostly meant by the art. I think, because if you really think about it, Chapter 1 of Dragon Ball, Toriyama's art was already great. Like, that's the thing, right? And Toyotaro had hiccups already, and he's been drawing since the early 2000s. So, the art will never reach Toriyama, in my opinion. I can confidently say, I mean, most mangakas will never reach Toriyama's level in their lifetime. But in terms of story, that was never Toriyama's biggest strong suit. I mean, in Dragon Ball, he had some great story, and he had some great connections, for sure. But Dragon Ball has never been big on story. Never. It's never been like a phenomenal story, a well written story. There have been great moments of some good pen writing, for sure. But as a whole, together, no, maybe not too much. But maybe Toyotaro will add more of that in Super, and that will really bring people in. They're like, oh, okay, like, I really don't like Super because it was just a bunch of fucking just fighting. There was no story at all. There was no
plot of any sort. It was okay, bad guy kill kind of thing. That's a big issue a lot of people have with Super. Maybe Toyotar will really bring them back and be like, listen, like, this is happening because of this, and this is connected to this, and this, and people are like, oh, okay, that's pretty interesting, actually. That's pretty cool. And then maybe people are really going to stick to it. So that's something I think we can really look forward to, especially with the Moro arc. I think the Moro arc is the best written arc of Super, to be honest with you. I don't think there was a better written arc. I thought the Goku Black arc had a lot of hiccups. I thought Granola arc was an absolute disaster after the first half of it. In writing. Oh yeah, in writing? In the writing aspect, Granola was a horror. Yeah, in terms of writing, the Granola arc was a horrible arc. Horrible. It was probably the worst written arc in Super. Okay, explain to me why the Granola arc was a well-written arc. I want to hear that. Or no, maybe not. Maybe you don't think it's well-written, but maybe you don't think it's. You think it's maybe.
I don't think it's terribly written.
It's
I don't think
written,
it's an atrocious thing. I don't have any. I guess nothing comes to mind for like insane story beats, but also nothing comes to mind for like, wow, that was so bad. And what I mean is, in the way that when I think back to the Golden Frieza arc in the animated series, it stands out in my mind that the series was terribly animated, right? Like someone let their child do the job for them.
Okay, yeah.
So like nothing, it never stood out to me like that. Now I know there might be moments in it, like when we refer to Bardock, where he gets, his, UI moment, and maybe, a lot of that, maybe
the heaters.
The heaters
just being there.
It was something different.
Nothing.
It's something familiar. You see, that kind of, gang of Rang, what am I saying? That misfit gang kind of vibe. We haven't really had that too much, for them being tied to Frieza and how that kind of links into that. And I thought it was okay, honestly. I thought there were moments that were really cool, very exciting. I thought Granola was a very interesting character, and I thought they wrote him well. I like the idea of us kind of getting acquainted with the story of, that kind of reminds us of the Saiyans and the recklessness and brutality that they had and inflicted on the main villain in this, right? I mean, I'm not even a villain, of course. At one point, I shouldn't say too much in case someone hasn't read it.
It's the Dragon Ball fan podcast. I think you're good.
Okay, of course we get to a point where they're fighting for the same side.
Yeah.
But I think he had such better motive. This is something we talked about when I was reading through the Granola arc, right? He had such better motive than the Moro arc. The Moro arc was just so. For me, it just felt to me it felt like a Dragon. You know what? When I look back at it, it's funny. I look back at it, I kind of agree with some of your statements from before. To me, it felt like a Dragon Ball Z saga, almost.
Yeah, but one that was better than the Majin Buu one.
One that was better than the Majin Buu, even though Majin Buu had more lore.
Yeah, but there was no direction. That's the issue with the Buu arc. There's no direction. It's just put someone in front of Buu. It's a toss up. It's a 50-50 who wins, and then next person goes in. It's literally just the fucking tournament. It's like a Cell. It's like going to the Cell arena. You're fighting Cell, but instead it's not Cell. It's Buu. And the only issue is there wasn't 2 fights. There was like fucking 9 of them fighting Buu, and Buu beat every single one of them basically until the end. And it was just the dumbest. Like, Vegeta should have won. Gohan should have won already. Vegeta's final explosion. Like, there's so many times that Buu should have been gone, and they're just like, nope, we need 50 more chapters, or not 50 more. We need like 20 more chapters. Nope, we need 50 more episodes, and it's just a clusterfuck of like there's prolonging. Like, Majin Buu arc should have ended in like 45 episodes. I'm sorry. Like, the fact that it's what, 80, 90? Like, how many episodes of the Buu arc? It's so dragged out, and like, yeah, there are these amazing moments. Yeah, of course. Everyone, the best moment everyone always says is the Vegeta explosion. Everyone says that's probably the best moment. Some people say that's the best moment in Z. I don't agree with that, but some people say that's the best moment in Z because it's Vegeta's biggest moment. I don't think that's Vegeta's biggest moment either as a Vegeta fan, but whatever. And like to me, the final flash is bigger than the final explosion. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't. the Boo arc for me feels like a clusterfuck, and that's why I don't like the Granola arc, because it's again just it's just fighting. There's nothing else into it. Like, but this is why I said the beginning of the Granola arc was great. Remember, we were talking about this getting introduced to the Ceruleans, the Sugarians, who were really cool, and then you get introduced to, I forgot his name now, shit, but Granola's friend, the Namekian, and we get introduced to these Dragon Balls, but he only needs 2, I think it was. I forgot if it was 2. That was cool. That's what pisses me off about the Granola arc, is the first 5-6 chapters. I'm like, okay, this is really good. This is starting off really, really good. And then it just went, heaters came, fucking, okay, Granola just decides to, like, he hates Saiyans, and he wants to do all this shit. He wants to beat Frieza, but now he's like, no, fuck Frieza, I need to kill the Saiyans first, then beat Frieza. And then it's like, okay, no, they're all fine. Okay, let's fight Gas, and then Gas gets strong. And then the Dragon Balls being the source of everyone's power in that arc is the dumbest shit. Like, Granola wishes the Dragon Balls, oh, I want to be the strongest in the universe. Then Gas does it to become the strongest. It's like, bro, find another way to fucking write these people to be stronger. Really? We're going to use the Dragon Balls again? We already used them on Earth and Namek. Now we're using them in the fucking Granola's planet. I forgot what it's called, but Planet Cereal. Like, it's just so dumb. And the Ceruleans and Sugarians are such cool characters, but then you just kind of throw the lore away. The lore is gone after the 5th or 6th chapter. It's just all fighting. That's all it is after. And again, we all love fighting, but if there's fighting with barely a purpose and there's barely any actual direction in the fight, then there's nothing to read on. There's nothing to watch. There's no excitement to me, to be honest. So that's just me, though. That's just me. But I understand your perspective, especially when you're relating it to how the Moro arc didn't have as much lore. But I just like that the Moro arc knew when to have these info pieces and when to put it in. It was well paced. It didn't prolong itself. It ended when it needed to end. But yeah, I think that we got a lot of people talking. Maybe you want to read a few. I think the last one was Attilio. I think Attilio at 64. Moro arc. I think it starts with Moro arc. If you want to read that.
Yeah.
Because I've been reading and talking too much. Sorry.
No, we take turns and we just go. I really liked the Kaisa. No, that was. Did we see that one already as well?
No. You have to read the one above that.
Moro arc, and this is Attilio here. Moro arc was great as well, and that's coming from someone who hasn't been a humongous fan of the newer stuff. Yeah. It was really well done. I think I felt like Moro arc overstayed just a smidge when it came to Planet Moro. I almost felt like we didn't need to get to Planet Moro, but that was a small little thing. That was a small little, it didn't feel as overextended as Zamasu in the clouds, right?
Oh, definitely not. Yeah. Yeah, that's, you just saying that is bringing back the moment I fucking said I hate this arc. The ending of the Goku Black arc is so bad. If they had a good ending in Goku Black, honestly, we could be talking about an arc possibly better than some Z arcs if it ended really well. But, super, so.
I think so much of it is landing. Boost, we always go back and forth with. It's one that, me and Sky talk about because it's one I look back at just a little bit more fondly, I think, and Sky looks at a bit more negatively. And, like he said, there's moments he loves from it. But I think so much of it is sticking the landing. I think there are such incredible story beats that if they just aligned them differently, right? Like, look, for me, I know some people don't love it. I do love the Spirit Bomb actually winning for once. I thought that was, I love that the visual of him, the whole thing with Vegeta remembering the wish. I love the dramatics of it. For me, I was someone who actually really enjoyed the ups and downs of they almost have it. Oh my gosh, they didn't do it. How could they possibly do it now? For me, I love those deep lows, even if some of them were really stupid, like Gohan not catching an earring or something like that. But for me, I think I look back and I think the best possible ending, I think a lot. I believe
it's fine
the Buu saga would have been for Vegeta's sacrifice to have actually been the thing to have beaten Buu. If it was something where we actually get that visual with the Majin branding stamped like a cow on his forehead, right? He has that moment, the beautiful moment with Trunks, and he does the final explosion and he beats Buu. He actually beats Buu. To me, that's an incredible, to have it Dragon Ball Z even almost begin with the threat of Vegeta and then end by him being the actual savior would have been the awesome complete story.
Yep.
That we would have loved, I think, and you know,
and how cool would
of
it
course
have
that
been?
doesn't happen, and instead they give him the golden Frieza treatment.
Yep. And then they do that. Let's see. Noun here says, I really like the Kai stuff in Kakume. I wish they did that in the main series. Kai stuff. Which Kai stuff? I'm trying to remember what he's referring to. Kai stuff in Kakume? Am I just blanking out right now? We'll go back to that. Now, let us know what you're talking about.
Clarification.
At says, yeah, honestly, I would say it's a 50-50 for me. It had some great moments, but overall, I was a fan of that arc. Moro was by far the best written. I agree. At also, Vegeta moment for me was when he turned Super Saiyan for the first time against Android 19, especially in the manga. Oh yeah, the manga's even better. That moment is even better in the manga for sure. Now it also says, did you all like the idea of the Ceruleans or the Tuffles from G more? That's a good question.
Oh,
Which one did you like more?
Oh, for me, it's not even close. Granola. Not even close.
Okay.
Like, Baby is a interesting character, but I thought they executed the weight of the Saiyan's impact and all that better for sure in the Granola arc.
Yeah, I would I think there was more room for Tuffles to have more background. I think they look cool, to be honest, but we didn't get too much of them in GT. Yeah. I mean, GT's what, 55 episodes, 56 episodes, so it's kind of hard to fill that in. I don't know. Is it weird to say that I think the Ceruleans look cooler? So I just like them more? Is that bad to say? I guess it's kind of fucked up, but I don't know. I like the Ceruleans. I think they look cool. And I guess the concept therefore is kind of better because they would be more into the story, right? So I guess I'll pick them. Gerald says, I also didn't like the fact that Mirrors came back. His sacrifice meant nothing at the end to me. Well, Gerald, I hard disagree with you. And actually, I have a short, I believe, talking about why I think Mirrors' death was actually very important in terms of having some sort of sacrifice or some sort of stakes in Dragon Ball still. I think the fact that he came back as someone who isn't an angel was already a pretty big deal, because that means he couldn't do what he was doing tomorrow, and just in general he can't affect anything in the universe anymore, and him losing those powers is a very big deal. That means no rewinding time, no resurrecting people, no crazy teleporting, he doesn't have his staff, anything. Like, it's a big deal.
It does give you some of the stakes, a reminder of that. Whis can't overstep too much, and he's already done a little bit too much. He's right on the line, I think. So yeah, that's interesting. Sorry, let's get I guess so. Noun was trying to clarify. He says, like the rotten fruits and the hierarchy of the potential unlocks. So that's interesting.
Like the Gohan stuff and
I like that idea of being able to go to different universes and getting tapped off. That sounds really funny and
what?
A little inappropriate.
What are you talking about? Tapped off, bro? What are you saying? Like, how did that even come into your head? Go to other universes and get tapped off? What?
Sometimes you just got to get tapped off. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, I like that. That was really cool as a concept. And yeah, the rotten fruits. I love how they painted the rotten fruits in this show in general. So yeah. Yeah, that was really cool. I know we kind of segue past Daima, but it's also the reason why, right? Because we were talking about all this, and maybe Daima's going to connect us back to Super. We don't know yet, but we'll see on October 11th when we first started again. It's a 40-minute episode 1. That's going to be really exciting. Maybe we get a little multiverse action, and we get Daima Goku fusing with
Oh
our
my
Goku,
God.
and then we get
Please
teenage
no.
Goku.
Please no. Please. don't give me like that Superman shit, please.
Gogeta!
God.
No, I even know it'd have to be like Goku or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, it's
Yeah.
late.
You got my pre-order ready. October's a huge month for Dragon Ball with Sparking Zero coming out as well. Yeah. October is just gonna be a huge month, and then November following is some more Fusion World starter decks with Daima, which is also exciting because I feel like actually, you know what, Kaiser? Before we end the stream, I think I now understand why November is the reason why they're bringing out the starter decks is because by November we'll have 4 episodes out. Maybe we'll start having this love for these some of these newer characters, and we'll
Build
get to see
some
these cards.
familiarity,
Yeah.
some hype. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we all get like these new cards, and we're like, "Whoa, this is cool! Like this character is really, really cool." I don't know, maybe I'm excited to play those Diamond decks. We'll definitely do a content piece where he's playing the Goku one, and I'll play the Vegeta one, or we can vice versa. We can do whatever, but probably Goku and Vegeta. That'll be a really, really fun thing to do. We'll obviously just buy one deck each, and then we'll do it like that, so that it just feels like right out the box. That would be really cool.
Awesome. Maybe we'll find a way to tie in Fusion World to the marathon stream that will be coming in October, either the 11th or likely the 12th. We'll get more info in for you guys either this Thursday or the following week on the next episode of the Dragon Ball Fan Podcast. But as we come to a close on this episode, please don't forget to engage, give it some final love before we leave for today. So give it a like, give us a subscribe if you haven't already, and you are what's the guy that joined? You are Joshua Samuels maybe, and you're in for the first time, commenting saying, hey, you know what, these guys are goofy, they kind of look weird, and they say things I don't understand sometimes, but they got a good heart, and they out here. Give us a subscribe, give us a like, everybody give us a like, that helps big time. And don't forget to join our Discord. You'll find that information down in the description, of course. But Sky, man, great episode.
Great episode.
Coming out of this, so stoked for Daima, so stoked for Sparking Zero. Glad we're getting it on the same day. It's gonna be crazy, and like Gerald was saying, we all going Super Saiyan with our hype in October.
Oh yeah,
for
100%.
sure.
Fun.
For sure.
Maybe we'll do some. Are we doing it physically? We'll talk more about it off camera. Yeah. Cool. Then we'll let you guys know soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dragon Ball Fan Podcast. That's Sky. I'm Kaiser. We will see you in the next episode next Monday, but catch us this Thursday for the Manga Lookout. Peace.
Peace.
Face to face and bar to bar, I learned to chase the pain and arm the scars, and my tail fire that's a Charizard. Then we